Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. First and foremost, before I get into my lesson, I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of great millstone that teach and that rule well today. And salutation also to the federal laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide in all truth and sincerity, day in and day out. Once again, I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar coming at you with another quick lesson. And right before I get into this lesson, this message or these videos goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, and also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations and that may take on the physical appearance or look of another nation. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent by the seed of your father, you are considered an Israelite as well. Shalom. So basically, I just got a couple of videos queued up, okay, to get into this lesson, okay, which both videos, okay, is going to be off this beloved brother page, Arrows of Indian Nation 144, okay, and basically, both videos going to go into, okay, the coming of famine, okay, when it comes to the plagues, okay, or one of the plagues of many, okay, that Yahweh Shai Shai is visiting the earth with, man, okay, especially this place America, okay, because this place America is known as Babylon the Great, okay, in the scriptures, and now we're coming to the point of the downfall of this place, okay, this place is going to witness a financial crash, civil unrest, draconian laws, okay, strict legislations, martial law, okay, detention centers, and one as well, famine, okay, in the midst of all that, man. And but we coming to the time now, the approaching of the time of food shortages, as lately Donald Trump has been pushing all these tariffs, okay, on American, on here in America, okay, that's what's going to affect this place America, and these tariffs are taking effect into these other countries such as Mexico, Canada, okay, members of the EU, China, okay, which this place is known for getting its goods from these other countries, okay. And when it comes to the the manufacture of food, a lot of these farmers, okay, is coming out, okay, saying that due to these tariffs and certain manufacturing products, when it comes to the farms, or when it comes to food process facilities, okay, a lot of it being cut, okay, a lot of it is orchestrated eventually, okay, by this government, okay, and all that's going to affect the trucking business, okay, that's known to bring the food into the states, okay, or your local grocery stores or restaurants, food markets, okay. And now more and more they're saying that these farmers coming out, or people that's insiders, okay, saying that to stock up, okay, and prepare, man, okay, because we're coming to the time of a famine, okay, which the word famine means hunger, okay, and it's going to be a food shortage, okay, and that's going to affect the average American, okay, right along with the average so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, okay, and even us that's in the faith, okay, amongst when it comes to society, it's going to be affected. Hey, but Yahweh Shai say that those of his servants going to eat, okay, going to be going to drink, going to be taken care of, man, as we're approaching the time of Jacob's trouble, and in the midst of Jacob's trouble, okay. Hey, so we're here, man, okay. Like I say, this point of this lesson is the famine or the food shortages, okay, that's about to take place, okay. And that this place about to witness inflation, hyperinflation, and at the same time, shortages, okay. So let me go ahead and play these videos, and I'm going to get a couple of scriptures, and that be the lesson, and I pray that the lesson is edifying.
months to come. Like, I know all of our algorithms have people from China telling us how, like, advanced they really are and how we really do suck, and we spend 10 times the amount of stuff that it costs them to make. But, yeah, the farmers are speaking out. They are sounding the alarm bells. They are talking about our food and the food supply. Truckers are talking about loads that they are picking up that do not have the same weight that they're used to. They're having to drive farther and longer and pick up less, which means they get paid less. If you are not growing a garden, if you do not have seeds and some soil in a pot on your windowsill, please do that today. Tomatoes are easy to grow. Get you some tomatoes, some peppers. Microgreens are super easy. They come up really quickly. You need rice and beans. Even if you can't get anything else, get some rice, some beans, and some salt. Y'all, there are people that will starve. They are cutting off food assistance to elderly people. Meals on Wheels. I get it. I get that people are saying, oh, it's not going to be that bad, or we just need fair trade. This is not about that. This is about cleansing the population of undesirables. And that's what they're doing. That's the goal. The goal is to get rid of who they say are the weakest among us. And that means people that are elderly or people that are disabled, children. They're not interested in rehabilitation. It's literally like survival of the fittest. So I'm about to go do some stuff in my garden. Hopefully my oxygen absorbers come in today. I've got some rice and beans that I need to pack, but y'all, anything. I'll get you a couple of, bags of beans from the dollar store. Y'all, you can get a 20-pound bag of rice from your local grocery store for $12, $13. Get you that and some beans, and if that's all you have, that rice and beans is complete protein. Please do something.
U.S. farmers are starting to regret their vote for Trump. From beekeepers to soybean to hay producers, all of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay around the world. Now, China's doing a great job diversifying, and the United States has relied on exports to China for so long that its farmers are going to just continue to suffer. Once again, the majority.
Okay, so you see, in his first video, you had Eve, this individual appear, to be an Edomite, going into how, the dying warning, as I'm gonna play the next video as well, the coming food shortages, due to the farmer businesses, collapsing, certain federal food agencies, cutting certain benefits, and it's going to affect the average American person, man, especially when it comes to, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, hey, but who's feeling it now are these American Edomites, man, all nations about to, feel it, and like, they've been going into, man, a lot of these things are orchestrated, especially when it comes to these elites. When I say these elites, the elites of Esau, Edom, these central bankers, want to bring order out of chaos, and part of the order they want to bring, to cause the chaos of a man-made famine, or orchestrated famine. Okay, and that's why now you're starting to see, certain products being, cut in the stores, or the prices going up on them. Okay, or certain cattle being destroyed. Okay, certain wheat. Okay, dairy products being destroyed. Okay, like I say, the euthanizing of certain cattle. Okay, because they want to bring a man-made famine. Okay, to bring in the culling. Okay, and I keep it like that. Okay, to cut the population down, man, so they can have a better, to them, chance of attempting an NWO. Because once it all said and done, okay, when when a famine hit or food shortages, okay, we know that they want to bring in a new current system. Okay, when it comes to a digital format, a new way of buying and selling, which ties into the MOTB in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, which is the RFID micro, which is going to replace the physical dollar. Okay, in order for people to accept that, hey, they got to bring the squeeze, man. Okay, they got to bring in a lot of, chaos, man. Okay, so let me play the next one. Okay, so now you're starting to see a lot of programs being cut. Okay, let's play the next one.
Majority of them voted for Trump, and now they're finding out.
Okay, so this is the second one. Okay, you can see dire warning from a farmer of things to come. Okay, and you have recently the elder from L.A., Elder Mawatazak, okay, did a video, okay, on this about this insider, okay, but happily be I believe she's a black farmer or Israelite, farmer that own her own farm, and coming out with insights. I think she, a Jake, okay, but I know it's a woman, okay, that came out with the insights of how in the near future, how food is going to be scarce due to the powers that be, cutting a lot of funding, okay, and and a lot of farmers losing business, okay. Hey, so we're approaching these times, man, okay, of the Lord bringing plagues, okay, like I say in this case, this video, okay, the coming of famine, okay, food shortage, okay, because it ain't like it's going to be no food at all. It's just going to be scarce or not having access to it, okay, and which I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Donald Trump rescinded the umbrella of the Department of Agriculture. So basically, the umbrella includes SNAP EBT, something called Farm to School breakfast and lunch program, WIC, which is like women and children, small children. They get cereal, they get grain cereal, and they get milk. He rescinded something called FMNP, which are those farmers' checks that they give to senior citizens that are low income. And he's cutting Meals on Wheels, and he's cutting food pantries as well as church pantries all across the nation. This is something I know for a fact because I do business with them. You can tell your followers how this is going to impact this entire country, because what a lot of people don't understand is, I'm just going to use WIC as an example. Most people think that WIC, which is women, children, and infants, right, was implemented because they want women to get milk. But that is not the case. WIC was originally put into place so that farmers could get subsidies for growing grain. That's why when you are on WIC, you can get all that rice cereal, cornmeal cereal, oatmeal cereal, and things like that. And it was also put into place so that the farmers can get paid for their dairy. That's the reason why when mommies are on WIC, they get so much milk
I mean, jugs and jugs and tons of milk that they don't even know what to do with the milk. So they end up making cheese, they make yogurt. Sometimes they just give it away because they don't know what to do with all that dairy and all that cereal. The fact that they're helping single mothers and mothers who are in need is just like gravy. They're doing it so that the farmers can get paid. And farmers get paid by something called farm subsidies. Okay? That is a welfare program. Alright? And it's funny because MAGA hates socialism, but they don't mind getting subsidies, which is welfare, as long as it benefits them. Now, because he cut all of these programs, not only are senior citizens going to suffer, farm to school is going to suffer because all the funds are frozen, farmers are not going to be able to grow enough produce to give to those schools, to give to EBT, to give to WIC, because there's no funding for them anymore. And something that a lot of people don't know is that when you have a farm, you have to plan one season ahead. So these people are not getting their subsidy check, which is welfare. So they are in arrears. They don't have the money. They've already spent thousands upon thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars buying lumber, buying farm animals, buying everything that they're going to need, and getting contractors to come over to their property, but they cannot have access to their funds, so their funds are frozen. Now, what this is going to end up doing, of course, is it's going to be like a humongous crash, because one system is completely dependent on the other. And it's the exact same thing with the big name commercial food companies like Sodexo. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a company called Sodexo. I think they might have been bought out by Cisco. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. Sodexo also requires the farmers to work with them. They actually hire farmers to give them food. And this is what people rely on, like in a hospital system. The food comes from these major companies. And when the farmers are not getting their checks and they can't do what they need to do, these other corporations are not going to be able to feed people. So it's going to have a horrendous snowball effect on our society. We are not going to be able to recover from this. So now, here is what the truck drivers are now saying. I don't know anything about truck driving, so I'm just going to give you the simplistic of it. So when a truck driver is called by dispatch to go pick up a load, it's called a load, right? That load has to be weighed, and I think it goes by the ton. I have been told in my private meetings that the loads are getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And what that means in layman's terms is that there's just not a lot of food that's being distributed throughout food pantries, schools, neighborhoods, hospital systems, etc. So even the truck drivers are saying that something is definitely wrong because they're not getting a lot of loads.
Okay, so you heard the second video. Okay, the woman. Okay, explaining the situation about the coming of food shortages. Okay, the lack of food. Okay, as now Trump putting these executive orders. Certain farmers not having access. Okay, to certain benefits. As when it comes to their food programs. They're leading to their food programs such as, she said, EBT, okay, Meals on Wheels, okay, uh, um, certain pantries, okay, and all that's gonna lead to, food, lack of food in the stores, grocery stores, okay, truckers, okay, affecting the truckers, okay. I think this is when it comes to certain grocery stores, okay, is only a 3 days limit of food supplies, okay, before another shipment, a truck, load, okay, to bring in the food, okay. So she's saying, a lot of programs going to be affected as well, okay. WIC, like I say, EBT, food stamps, okay, all that's being cut, okay. Because we know these elites once again want to bring order out of chaos, man. Okay, and all that's the will of Yahweh Shemel Shai, especially to this place, America. Okay, and I say that because, hey, this place, America, is known for all its wickedness, man. Okay, especially when it comes to the wickedness of Esau, Edom, these heathens, and at this time, when it comes to majority of our people, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, and the Lord is visiting the earth, which He made. Okay, in particular, America, man. Okay, and especially when it comes to you proud Americans. Okay, because this place is known for overindulging, eating, obesity, gutless, okay, or wasting food, okay. Yeah, but now we come to the point that food about to be scarce, man, okay. So that's it on that. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the scriptures, and this is all part of prophecy, okay, because Lord bringing the plagues, man. Matthew chapter 24, verse 27. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, and this is what Yahweh Shai told us what to look for here in these times, man. The end time prophecies, man. Okay, we're leading up to as we're in the time of Yahweh Shai's second coming. Okay, for nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And we're seeing that civil wars, civil unrest, okay, race wars, clash wars, division. Okay, the third World War. Okay, and it says, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, and I want to focus on famine. Okay, and other plagues that the Lord is bringing as well is pestilence. Okay, and we're seeing the earth being visited by earthquakes. Okay, tornadoes. Okay, severe heat. Okay, when it comes to natural disasters. Okay, but I want to focus on famine. Okay, so there's going to be a famine here in America and throughout different regions of the earth. Okay, but in particular this place, America, because this place is known for, like I say, overindulging and eating. Okay, when it comes to feasting. Okay, or your average American known to going to these grocery stores, getting their products or merchandise or their food, or restaurants. Okay, clubs, bars. Okay, and also people having access by the way of certain government funding, okay, to have food, okay. But all that's going to be when it comes to food shortages and these cuts, okay, and that's going to be a domino effect, okay, leading to starvation, man, okay, to certain people here in America, okay. Like I say, especially when it comes to the wicked ones of our people, man, okay, those of our people that's not going to take heed, that's not taking heed to the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai, okay. And by the way of the prophets, a lot of our people get caught up into this famine, okay. Let's get this. Let's get this. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and this is the modern day Egypt or spiritual Egypt. Okay, Egypt is a Greek word meaning bondage. Okay, and when it comes to the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, this place America is known as our captivity. Okay, history don't prove that. Okay, so this place America is spiritual Egypt. Okay, so it says Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh by Shemel Shai shall bring upon it. Okay, They that till the ground shall mourn. Okay, they that till the ground going into your businesses. Okay, in this case, actually tilling the ground. Okay, in this case are these farmers. Okay, where they're known to get certain foods from. Okay, which a lot of these foods are GMO now. Okay, but now they want to get rid of the natural way of food. Okay, when it comes to these elites. Okay, they want to get rid of the natural way of growing the food when it comes to fruits, vegetables, cattle. Okay, dairy products. Okay, now they want to get rid of the existence of the way of the natural way of growing food. Okay, and now I want to push more GMO foods by the way of lab grown. Okay, and at the same time, a lot of the food process facilities being destroyed for the past couple of years, mysteriously catching on fire or burning down. Okay, and it says, "They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting." Certain farms, okay, being destroyed by cold weather, okay, by heat, by droughts, floods, okay. It says blasting and hail, okay, and with their fearful constellation, okay. Hey, so we coming in these times now, man, okay. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword." Matter of fact, that's it on that. I want to go to Let me get this, yeah, because it's going into. Let's get this one. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And the point is famine. Okay, we come into the time of the beginning of famine, or food shortages. Okay, rational. Okay, or food, scarce. Okay, and it says, "Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute." Okay, a scourge is known for a whip. Okay, so while the Lord bringing these plagues, majority of the world, okay, not preparing themselves for the times ahead. Okay, especially mainly so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans. Okay, but the elect, the hopeful elect that we pray that we part of, we preparing ourselves through the Spirit because we're measuring the times. Okay, and preparing ourselves as we see these signs are happening. Eventually, that's going to lead to prophecy. Okay, being fulfilled. Okay, but these plagues that the Lord bringing is going to be in the form of a scourge, man. Okay, for the majority of our people, man, and also these heathens. Okay, and it says, "But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges." Yeah, because things are happening now. Okay, but majority of our people, they still putting the day of the Lord off. They still scoff and scorn. Okay, they still want to trust in Esau, Edom when it comes to the system. Okay, which eventually they trusting in this place. And when these times will come, majority of people going to take that MOTB. Okay, and according to Revelation chapter 14 verse 9, those that take it, they're going to be destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay, when it comes to this place, America. And it says, nor always be mindful of the scourges. Yeah, our people, following after these false gods, idol worship, going after the hedonistic customs, being, worshiping, being in these different sets of religions, okay, not returning or repenting back, okay, to serve Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, you even got certain Israelite camps that's out there not pushing the time of Jacob's trouble, okay, or the time of the destruction of this place. Okay, a lot of, most of the Israelite camps, they pushing prosperity, gain. Okay, it's all about fame and fortune, the biggest congregation, and they're not giving that forewarning, which we know a lot of the Israelite camps don't sold out too, man. Okay, but those that take heed unto them, the Lord lead them to that, man. Okay, because like I said, eventually the elect is going to take heed. Okay, when it comes to us that are hopeful elect. Okay, start with the men of great millstone and the brothering on down, those that truly believe, and those especially that giving the sincere warning. Okay, so we can be covered in the times of Jacob's trouble and hopefully be found favor in the Lord grace. Okay, Verse 21. Behold, virtues shall be so good cheap upon earth. Okay, the virtues going into goods. Okay, so right now things, seem reasonable. Even though Trump pushing these tabs. Okay, he's talking about, the price is gonna, take a major blow when it comes to the consumers. Okay, when it comes to inflation. Okay, then it's gonna lead to hyperinflation. Okay, where your average product that you used to buy, okay, due to the dollar devaluing, the country dropping the dollar, okay, and the lack of produce or manufacturing or merchandise or merchants, the price is going to skyrocket, okay, or go up, okay, tremendously, okay. That's hyperinflation. And they said, but right now, things seem so reasonable, and that's why them farmers or the certain individuals getting on, TikTok or social media, they saying prepare, okay, for the times ahead in a couple of months, okay, as they, saying there can be effect by the end of this year, okay. They giving warning. And it says, behold, virtues shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. Even then shall evil grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And so the Lord, a lot of people gonna be, unalive by starvation, okay, famine, the lack of bread, okay, especially when it comes to Esau Edom bringing martial law, okay. Let's get this real quick. This is Second Esdras, with the chapter 6, verse 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. You hear the trumpet going into alarm. Okay, it's starting with the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai. Those that's out there truly teaching, they're giving that warning. Okay, or what's ahead. Okay, but then gonna come the time of alert, alarm, the coming of a financial crash, civil unrest, martial law, okay, and food shortages, okay. And that's why now, people panic buying, okay, prepping, okay. They say they growing their own gardens, okay, saying if they're going to have access to it at that time. Okay, because during the time of martial law, Esau Edom, they're going to try to seize everything, man. Okay, seize or siege everything. Okay, verse 24. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. Yeah, you might have people talking about they growing gardens, but they got next door neighbors watching them. And due to them not having food in that time, what do you think gonna happen, man? Okay? And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. The earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, a lack of water too. Okay, because the water system, how it's set up. Okay, the majority of the people, especially the inner city, okay, is known to, the sewage water, okay, which that's defiled to the point that now people are buying bottled waters out of the stores, and that's going to be scarce in the stores. Okay. Matter of fact, yeah, 22. Let me go back up to 22. And it says, suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, you go into your local grocery stores, man. Okay, the scarce food. Okay, that's the empty shelves, man. Okay. And like I said, at the same time, a lot of programs being cut, food programs being cut. Okay. And when it comes to the average American citizen that's on these programs, okay, especially these women, okay, that's going to catch hell, man. Okay, in particular, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American women that's on these programs. And once that cut, you already know. These women going to lose it, man. Okay, especially single parents, single women. They got children. Okay, they have no man in the house. Okay. verse. I'm gonna drop back down to verse 25. It says, "Whosoever remain from all these things that I had told thee shall escape and see my salvation in the end of your world." Yeah, the end of this time of Esau Edom rule. Okay, that's leading to Yahweh's second coming, man, to redeem the nation of Israel. Okay, when it comes to the elect at that time. Okay, the 144,000 and 1/3. Okay, of men, women, and children at that time. Okay, starting with the men of the 144,000. Okay, and the Lord going to make the men a hedge. Okay, over the rest of the elect. Okay, especially when it comes to the women in those times, man. Okay, Isaiah 4:1. Well, that's Isaiah 13 and 9. Okay, Isaiah 32. Okay, and 1. Okay, let me see. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 2. A man shall be a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, and as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Okay, going into the Yahweh Shemel Shai, being having a elect men being a hedge. Okay, especially when it comes to these women. Okay, matter of fact, let me go to verse 9. And it says, "Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." How the Lord is doing that? By the way of his prophets. Okay? And it says, you women. Okay? In particular, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American woman. Okay? And that's when Isaiah 4:1 going to take place. Okay, on this side, man. Or in the times that we're approaching. Verse 10. "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women." Yeah, because majority of our women, they're comfortable here. Okay, because they known to receive all these benefits. Okay, such as, EBT. Okay, WIC. Okay, as they been explaining in those videos, man. Okay, so majority of our people, our women, they careless, man. Okay, when it comes to trusting in the system. And a lot of our women, man, when all hell break loose and they introduce their MOTB, we can see a lot of our women taking it, man. Okay, but those are the elect women, they're not going to take it. Okay, they're going to be joined to the elect men. Okay, therefore they're the elect. Okay, to be delivered. And it says, "Many days and years shall be trouble, you careless women." Okay, the 2/3 of our women. Okay, "For the virtues or the ventures shall fail, and the gathering shall not come." Yeah, when it comes to these benefits being cut now, the government benefits being cut that our women so used to. Okay, "Tremble, you women that are at ease. Be ye trouble. Be trouble, you careless ones. Scrip you and make you bear and grid sackcloth upon your loins." Yeah, the time of mourning. That's what sackcloth meaning. Okay. And it says, "They shall lament for the teats." Yeah, the teats representing, the government funds, man. Okay, the government funds, the jobs. Okay, feminists. Okay, the liberty that our women have now. Okay, going and about. Okay, doing whatever they want. My body, my choice. But all that's gonna change when all hell breaks loose, man. Okay, and they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to, in this case, famine. Okay, or the food shortages. Okay, a lot of our women, they either gonna take that MOTB, and that's gonna lead to their destruction. Okay. And right along with the children, they take that MOTB. Okay, men, women, and children that take that MOTB. Yeah, okay, the Lord gonna allow them to their destruction, man. Okay, but you're gonna have men, women, and children of the elect that the Lord is not gonna give over to that, man. Okay, like I say, start with the men. The Lord gonna make a man more precious than fine gold. Let's get that real quick. That's here we go. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. "And I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the Odin. Than the slop. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge or Ophir." Okay, so that's going into the elect men at that time. Okay, because the elect men going to have that hedge or the covering of Yahweh Shemel Shai in that time. Okay, that's the number that we're striving to be part of. Okay, us are the hopeful elect. Okay. And in that time, the Lord gonna have that protection of the men by the way of the angels. Okay. Certain men having spiritual power. Okay, to be a guide, to be a covering. Okay. The Lord said his service is gonna be taken care of, man. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. You know, these scriptures I ain't even had intent to go into, but you know everything, you know, the spirit. Bear with me. With Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 13. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hunger. Okay, so Yahweh Shemal Shah said his service, his elect, is going to eat, but 2/3 of our people is going to hunger. Okay, because according to Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8, 2/3 of our people going to be judged here in America. Okay, and part of that judgment, or their judgment, is going to be famine. Okay, or hunger, starvation. Okay, therefore, this is the Lord power. Behold, Yahweh Shemal Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. And like I say, because even the water supply is going to be cut off. Okay, and the lack of water in these grocery stores. Okay, but the Lord said his servants is going to drink. Okay, but majority of our people going to thirst. Okay, and it says, behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay, and so the Lord going to take care of his elect in that time, man. Okay, but let me get back into, you know, how the Lord bringing the famine upon this place. Let's get this. Let's get this. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. And it says, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for the destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break the staff of bread. And that's what we're seeing. Okay? And so we're seeing that, man. Okay, the Lord breaking the staff of bread when it comes to the system collapsing. Okay, and it's done by manufacturing or orchestrated, man-made. Okay, as Trump doing the bidding of these elites, cutting certain funds and farmer funds and leading to, you know, sources of food. Okay, and these elites, you know, they have the agenda. And once again, as I say, man, they want to bring order out of chaos. They have everybody submit unto them. Okay, or the way you can have access to these foods, okay, that we have stored, okay, or rational, and you got to take that MOTB. Okay, and a lot of our people gonna go for that, man. Okay, I ain't worrying about these heathens, because these heathens, man, they ain't gonna be delivered anyway. Salvation only for the nation of Israel, starting with mainly the elect. Okay, starting with the elect. Okay, yeah, but we approaching the time of famine. Okay, coming in the time of food shortages, man. And we witnessed a couple of videos. Okay, and I, you know, touch on a couple of scriptures. Okay, yeah, but Yahweh Shemal Shai is going to be our hope. Okay, also the hopeful elect, man, and be our covering in the times ahead, man. Okay, and so I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson here, and I pray that the lesson was edifying. Till next time, Lord willing, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.